Hi guys, it's Bridget. I'm the SoFlo picker and I'm here in Anchorage, Alaska, and I am out thrifting today. It's a kind of a gray, rainy day and I'm taking the morning to check out the thrift shops to see what they've got here, see if there's some small items I can bring home and flip for a profit. Plus I'm curious to see how different the thrift shops are here. So I'm actually at the Goodwill in Anchorage. So here we go. I want you to join me and see what we can see. Tell me if I missed up because I gotta shop it somewhat quickly because I want to hit one more thrift shop this morning. And this is kind of my day to do this. So it's the Goodwill. Oops, check it out here. Let's see, get it. Oh, well, I was trying to show you the sign, but I can't angle the camera because I suck at it. But anyway, let's go see what they got. Let's go. So after I walked through the Arctic entry and into the store, I immediately saw these bags on end cap and saw this Tory Burch bag. And I'm like, ooh, I like this store already. So $49 seems kind of high, but after I checked the prices online, I knew it was a good pickup. So right away I had something in my basket. And then I was walking along. I wanted to give you a feel of what the store felt like and looked like. So it had all these shoes up front after the books, and you could see that, it's summer there, and they've got flip-flops, but they also have tons of winter shoes, winter boots, hiking boots, jackets, winter jackets, tons of winter wear, hats, scarves, mittens on every end cap. So just all kinds of outdoor gear and cold weather gear. And, but, that would be the time of year to pick them up when it's not as competitive and it's not cold. It was rainy this day, but. So there was a new rack out. I was just checking the brands to see what was there. Wasn't really shopping for clothes. I'm more like looking at them because I just wanted to know, what do they have? Do they have, Pendleton and, all of the different Filson and cool brands that you would love to find? So I'm just checking it out. As I'm walking and heading towards the back where I saw that the hard goods are. And there was a tote, but it was empty, except for some wire thing. And they had lots of end caps. So I started looking at the end caps here. I'm looking. I don't really see anything. Of course, it's red, so kind of looks holiday-ish. But some pretty glass. Some pretty things. And then we got a yellow end cap. A nice little ceramic bowl there. And then that beautiful crackle glass with the ruffled rim. If I was at home, I would have definitely picked that up. I'm sure it's mid-century. You can see it's hand-blown with the ponto on the bottom. Probably sells for anywhere from $45 to $55. So, and then, oh look, that big bunny. Did you see it? It has that look, that Jim Shore kind of look. And sure enough, there it was. Hartwood Creek, Jim Shore. Whoa, though, $29.99. I'm thinking that was a little steep, but I've done my research and can't remember if there's any discounts. But that sells for about $70. But it's still at $30. I mean, that's not enough of a profit. But if you can get like 25% off on a special day. But I loved these skull votive candle holders. The skulls weighed a ton, so I had picked them up to see if they were like from, Crate and Barrel or Pottery Barn or something like that. They were just super cool. And that was not for food use. So don't eat out of that candle. Then I'm just looking at these rocks because I'm thinking they look cool in a candle holder. But I'm not at home, so what am I doing? They had tons of games, so I'm just walking down the aisle. And look at all these Squishmallows. That was the Nessie the Loch Ness Monster Squishmallow. I counted them. There were like 8 of them. And they sell on eBay for $15. So, that'd be like $120 if you picked them all up. Plus, there were a couple other Squishmallows. But, might be kind of tough taking, 10 Squishmallows home in my suitcase. So, that's why I cruised on by. But, if it were you, and you were shopping in Alaska, you live there, why wouldn't you pick them up? You make one listing, and it's all about how much money can you make, and how much time does it take you to make the money. So if you can make one listing and sell 8 things, you are ahead of the game, my friends. And that's where you want to be. And check out that Kachina plate. I love Kachina dolls. That's something I was kind of hoping I would run into at a thrift shop. But no, I only see the Kachina on the collector plate. And we all know one thing about collector plates is that 95% of them are worth nothing. So this one sells for about $15 on eBay. And, that's what they wanted for it. I think it was $15. So no money to be had there. But, at least I saw a Kachina. Just not in the form that I wanted. And we're still looking at end caps. Lots of end caps. Lots of holiday stuff. Tons of it. Well, people probably really get into Christmas. And I know I've been there in winter, way into February. And people still had Christmas lights up. So, it's such a winter wonderland. Maybe they just like to draw it out. And I was looking at this art because I'm thinking, I'm going to find some beautiful masterpiece watercolor. And it's just a poster. And we're heading down kind of mishmash aisles of everything. From Thanksgiving stuff to Moroccan rattles to puzzles that are incomplete and chunks of wood. I guess it's a pen holder. Kind of cool though. I obviously was checking it out, was intrigued by it. Sometimes I look at myself and go, who's that person? Why am I so intrigued by it? And I'm walking down the aisle, I see that little ship painting and thinking, cute, but it's all scratched up. And just like everywhere back home, lots of signs that say lots of things. And then I find this awesome box. Of course, it's a Mexican item found in Alaska, but I love that painting on the bark. And then it's got a cork interior, and I'm like, I love this. And it's small, and it's not breakable. Well, for the most part, because it's that bark paper over wood. And so I picked that up because I love that folk art painting, and I had never seen any boxes covered in that barkwood paper before. And some wood carvings. None of it was in really good shape though. And I kind of like this. And if I was at home, I probably would have picked that up because that kind of stuff sells good for me. But, and it was an iguana in Alaska. They don't have iguanas in Alaska, I'm pretty sure, because they have no snakes. Not that snakes are iguanas, but, I think they're warm weather only. So I think they would die in the winter. My favorite thing about Alaska, no snakes. I hate snakes. Let's just say that. I'll say that often, probably, because I really hate them. And then I don't know what that was. And I still don't know what that was. Or is. I think it's just something floating in resin. And then I just picked up that plate. I was trying to keep my eye out for things local to Alaska. And already on the trip, we had seen several bald eagles. Beautiful, just in the wild. Just spectacular, just flying around. But again, that was a collector plate. It wasn't worth anything. It sells for about $50. I like those moose salt and shakers because I love the mooses. Every time I go to Alaska, I see mooses, but I didn't see a moose except for in the we went to a conservatory for animals and we saw mooses there. But it was the first trip I've been to Alaska where I didn't see the mooses in the wild. It's kind of an interesting piece of pottery. I'll always look at all the pottery because I love it, but not all pottery is good pottery. But I did like this heart plate. Look how pretty that is. I love the texture. I love the shape. I love the pretty flowers. Had I been at home, I would have grabbed that. But I wasn't. I had to be careful. There's only so much room in my suitcase. And then I didn't show it here, but I picked up that little ballerina and showed you on my camera, on my phone, what it sells for. So I did pick up that brass ballerina, which you'll see in the haul at the end. It's just a tiny little brass ballerina, perfect for my suitcase. I like that glass Christmas tree. I have lots of glass Christmas trees, and there was another one. I probably would have bought those for myself if I was at home, but I wasn't. So they're still there. Or I don't know if they're still there, but I had to leave them behind. I was looking at this little fishy face. Kind of cute, but not special. And then I saw this. I really loved this. This little lady face. I loved her so much. I wanted to bring her home, and I'm like, oh my God, she looks so delicate with the neck and then the big top, and she was only $3.99, and I wanted her so bad. I put her down, and then I looked at her again, and I said, I really want you. I really want to take you home. I really like you. And I left her, and then I looked her up, and she's worth like $65, $70. Should have taken her. But I did find this genie bottle, and this is mid-century, and it had its stopper, and it was in perfect condition, and it was hand-blown, and I'm like, oh yes, that has to come, just because it's so rare that I find the genie bottles with the lid in perfect condition. So I knew that was going to be like my awkward thing to pack, but I took it. And I'm just cruising along. I'm looking at the clothes, kind of glancing. I'm really trying to watch my time because my goal on this morning was 3 thrift shops. And then I had one other day that I could hit 3 more, where our activities for the day didn't start till like lunchtime. So, and like the Goodwill, it doesn't open till 11 a.m., which, you know, is really late. I'm not used to that. I think ours opens at 9. So I was just checking out the shoes, seeing what they were priced at. They're pretty much priced the same as what my shoes are at my Goodwills at home. You know, $9.99 for most of the shoes. So I was just checking it out. But of course, if you found really good hiking boots and winter boots, $9.99 would be a phenomenal price, because those kinds of things are like, you know, well over $100 for shoes that really can handle the temperatures there. I'm not talking about, you know, just your average pair of Timberlands or something like that. I'm talking true cold weather. And they had beautiful scarves. So I had to pick through. And jeans. Just like home. But look how full this store was. I mean, a lot fuller than the ones in southern Florida, at least in Palm Beach and Broward area. I don't really go to Miami too much because that's really far from me. It's a lot easier to go north where I live than to go south. And they had all kinds of hats. And they were about the same price as what I find in my thrift shops. I mean, at my Goodwills at home. They were like $3.99. I'm looking through the glassware. Not that that's something that I was really looking to bring home, but I had to go down every aisle. Well, not every aisle, but the aisles I would normally go to if I were at home. And I thought, that's cute. The fun shape. And tons of glassware. So if you live there, you could really hunt and probably find some really nice stuff. But I'm just browsing through quickly, trying to give you guys a look-see of what they have. Of course, I had to check out that tiny little base. Anytime there's colored glass, it draws my eye. Because I love it. It's so beautiful. And of course, I'm going to look at that blue glass. It's colored. You have to look at it. And mugs. Lots and lots of mugs. They do them several deep. If you were looking for mugs, you'd really have to hunt through. And I just turned around and we're going back the other side of the rack. All kinds of odds and ends. Dishes. This is where most of the plates and dishes were. Which would be really awkward to take home. But I'm like, oh, look at this fox. It was all scratched up though. And it was just by tag, so nothing special, but I liked the idea of a fox. I like foxes. And just some little stuff up here. I checked out that teapot, but it didn't have a lid, didn't have a brand or anything. It wasn't anything special. All kinds of soaps and coasters and candle holders, and oh look, a little cloisonne box for $2.99 that will fit perfectly in my suitcase and is not breakable. If only I could find things like that left and right. Not a huge moneymaker, but every time I have cloisonne, doesn't matter what it is, a big vase, a little vase, a trinket box, a little knickknack, a frog shaped cloisonne, anything. It usually sells pretty quick. And so we headed up to the front to wrap things up. They did have some things in some cases, so I took a quick peek in the cases, and it was just kind of some of their more expensive items, and then of course jewelry, which was great to see because we do not have that in our area Goodwills. And so I had her show me a few pieces. I would have loved to have gone through everything slowly and picked out all the good stuff, but I didn't want anyone to wait for me, and I was limited on time, so I had her show me a few things, and then I wrapped up my shopping trip at Goodwill and ended my trip. Okay guys, I'm done at the Goodwill. Again, I had to kind of breeze through there. I couldn't look at every department because I don't have enough time. And it was quite big also. Prices looked really good. There were some things they had up front that were higher, but I hope I gave you a good overview. I picked up some things. I'm going to show you a haul when I get back to the ranch. But I got one more stop. So you'll have to wait for the next one for that. But I'm going to go to a Salvation Army next and see what they have. But thanks for joining me, and Stay tuned for the recap. Hi guys, we're back home, but I wanted to make sure I finished my haul from my video in Alaska at the Goodwill. So I wanted to show you everything I bought. There's a couple things you guys didn't get to see because I picked them up at the end, but let's go over it. But I did want to remind you, I've got several more Alaska shopping trips to go. So please make sure you're subscribed. And so that you get all the alerts when I post a new video, and you are going to love it. I have 6 for sure shopping trips, and 1 I haven't checked the video yet to see if it's long enough to do another, so it might be 7. So stay with me, guys. I think you're going to like it because there's some surprises in here, and it's a lot of fun. But thank you for holding on this far. So let's get to the little haul. As you can see, I tried to get small stuff so I could take home. I was trying to be very careful. So the first item is this pebble leather double zipper Tory Burch crossbody bag. I got that for $49.99, and they're selling on eBay from anywhere from $100 to $150. And so that was a decent buy. And then the next item is this little ballerina. She's just like 4 or 5 inches. I paid $9.99. You can see that I had looked her up, and she sells anywhere from $70 to $75 on eBay. So she's really sweet. And then the next item that I picked up was this genie bottle. I tried to figure out if it was Blanco or who it was, and I couldn't figure it out. It's kind of got this neat shape, kind of a triangle base, and it's has its stopper in perfect condition. I paid $4.99, and this should go for between $60 and $70. So yeah, it was glass, and I was like, I have to take it home because I usually find them and they don't have a stopper. So I had to pick it up. And then the next item I found, easy pickup because it was this little cloisonne box. I got it for $2.99. It should sell for $15 to $18. Cloisonne is usually an easy pickup. And for those of you that don't know what cloisonne is, it's enamel over brass or bronze, and it will have the enamel painting within the brass. So if it doesn't have, you should be able to feel the texture to all the brass outlining of all the little sections and the enamel painting inside of it. If you can't feel it with your finger and it's just painted, because there's a lot of beautiful enamel painted items that wouldn't be considered cloisonne, they would just be enamel over brass, which is common too. So it's just a sweet little trinket box. And sometimes they're just the solid brass or bronze on the inside, but more often they're enameled, like this little box. And then I bought this little planter, and for some reason I didn't see myself filming picking it up. So this is, obviously Mexican pottery, but I happen to be in love with it. And I think I bought this for me. It's a tiny little planter. It's Talavera pottery. I got it for $3.99. And there's nothing exactly like it on eBay right now. So usually that means you can kind of demand a price. There's single little pots, and there's nothing with this kind of oblong shape that's tiny like this. So I think it's vintage, and it should go for about $30. And then I got this this hand painted box. It's on bark paper. It's also Mexican. It's got a cork lining with a piano hinge, and I got it for $3.99. And I think you call this amati, but anyway, it's a common Mexican type of art, painting on the bark. Normally you'll see like pieces of bark paper, and then you would frame it. I actually didn't see any where they've applied it to the box and then lacquered it. So this is really a unique little box where, again, I can probably, there's none like it, and there's none sold in at least the last 90 days or so. So I can probably demand, $25 to $35 for this. And then I bought at the counter when I went to check out, there was just tons and tons of jewelry. Normally I would love to just go through it and make them bring out tray after tray and go through it, but I didn't have time. Since no one was behind me in line yet, I just had her show me a couple things. And then, of course, when somebody walked up, I wanted to say, okay, I'm ready to go. So I picked up, let's see, this is a hand-carved resin eagle bracelet. I couldn't find anything online I found one similar that looked very similar. In fact, it looked like this right here, but it was just the feathers. And it's selling for, I should say it's listed for, I think it was $35. But this one has the eagle and the feathers. So I thought this was beautiful, and I got it for $4.99, and it should sell for about $30. And then I got this beautiful necklace. It does have the label on it, the hang tag. It's a costume jewelry brand called Sequin. They have a website, so you can look at it. They usually have beautiful glass and stones and that sort of thing. So you can see this can be worn as a double or a single. And it kind of has that peridot looking beads, and it has dyed quartz and then some glass beads. So it's really beautiful. It has a lot of depth. And I think I can get around $25 to $30. And then these lastly are these beautiful moonstone blue screw-on vintage earrings. I love moonstone. It's so beautiful. It's like little gazing balls to me. And I got those for $2.99, and they should sell for about $18. And that's it. That's my haul, guys. That's my haul at this Goodwill. So I try to keep it small. And I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned, guys, because I got more coming up, and it's going to be fun. So I'll see you next time.